Okay, so I have been asked to do something that tells people how to get started in the Magic Farm for 1.6.4. Some of this will also work in the Magic Farm 1.5, but 1.6.4 is the current release version, and that's the version I'm going to be doing this on. Magic Farm is different, and it's mostly a conversion mod pack. There are some things that are going to behave the same as you're used to. Punch trees, get wood, at least for now. That might change. But there are a lot of things that people who are used to modded Minecraft are going to get in here and they're going to be going, well, what happened? I don't understand. What do I do? Well, glad you asked. First off, let's get ourselves to a biome that's a bit better for this specific thing. This is not my play world, which is why I feel perfectly comfortable doing this. Snow biomes are about the worst thing you can spawn in Magic Farm because there is next to no food. You're also going to have a lot of hostile mobs with the introduction of the thermal expansion blizz. So you're better off, well, pretty much anywhere else. Jungles are also not great, not the best food options. Let's see if we can find ourselves a plains biome. That would be the best option, a nice flat area with some growth. So a couple of things that right off have changed in Magic Farm. You lose hunger all the time. Jumping loses you hunger. Swimming loses you hunger. Cobblestone slabs are going to be some of your best friends in this game. Cobblestone slabs mean you don't need to jump up and down the hills. Instead, you can take your slabs and you can make yourself a path so that it doesn't cost you quite as much to move. Very useful thing. Once you get some cobblestone, because we all end up with plenty of cobblestone, you can do that. Now, most people automatically go for the option of, hey, let's kill some animals. Well, okay, you can do that. However, the problem is that killing animals is going to require a lot more hunger overhaul than you're going to get back from eating said animal. As you see, sheep do have a chance to drop some meat. So does squid. Squid can drop raw calamari, which you can cook up and eat. But you're really quickly going to start losing hunger if you spend all your time beating up on animals, and you're going to run out. However, the world is full of food. There's this, which is barley. Wayla is having a bit of an issue telling what it is. From Natura. There's vanilla from agriculture. Of course, breaking grass gives you seeds, which you can not actually plant right now. Yeah, you thought I was going to say plant them. Nope, you can't actually do that right now. You're going to need to hold on to them until you can get a hoe. A hose cannot be made until you get to the metal level of Magic Farm, which means you're going to need a smeltery or a furnace, and you're going to need to get lucky, and or get lucky, one or the other. Most people's first thing after food, you see these are labeled as morsels. These fill pretty much nothing in the way of food. First thing people always wonder is, how do I go about crafting? So we can get ourselves a crafting table. As soon as any updates, for whatever reason. Not sure what's going on there. Okay. I'll figure that out later. Obviously something's going wonky there. We'll put our crafting table down. We'll get ourselves some wood. Now in the normal course of Minecraft, you would take this wood, you convert it to planks, make some sticks, and then be able to make like a pickaxe. Hey, no, that doesn't work. There's a reason for that. all of the recipes for making these have been removed. You can use them as fuel, but you can't actually make them. Not until you get to iron. So, people go, well, then how am I supposed to survive in this world? Well, that's what Tinker's Construct is for. When you first spawn in the world, you're going to have this book here. What materials in you? Gives you the recipes you're going to need. One change here is you can actually use 4 sticks instead of 2 sticks and 2 planks to make the pattern. And you can make up your parts. The only parts you need are the tool station, pattern chest, part crafter, and the stencil table. So, we're just going to pull those out, because I'm not actually playing on this world. We're going to grab ourselves a tool station, part builder, pattern chest, stencil table. I'm going to put our stencil table down, and then we're going to put our pattern chest here, and our part builder in between, and then our tool station on the end. With the pattern chest in between, we can now access the pattern chest from the part builder, which is nice. Now we take ourselves some patterns. We're going to get some blank patterns and put them in here. We're going to need a tool rod. We're going to get a pickaxe head, and a shovel, and an axe head. Now, when you mouse over this, you'll notice that on it says valid materials. On the sword blade, it says stone, obsidian, netherrack, thaumium. You can't make this out of wood. Why not? Because you can't. I said so. That'll work. Go with I mean. That'll work. And then we'll just put our parts in the pattern chest. Now, if we put our tool rod in here and a stick, we can get ourselves a wooden tool rod. You can also put a plank. It'll give you a wooden tool rod and a stick. Now, notice we can't make a wooden axe or anything. However, you can make a wooden shovel. The reason for this, because the first thing you are going to need to do is get yourself some gravel. I don't think we were lucky enough to have some spawning right here, were we? Of course not. That's always too easy. There's some down there. Have to get down there, though. But so anyway, yeah, you would go find yourself some gravel. I'm not actually going to go find some gravel because I'm just showing you how this works. I'm not actually playing it right now. Notice just these little jumps, and my hunger's going down. You will very quickly start to starve in this. And this is only on normal mode. It gets worse. So we need ourselves some flint, and for demonstration purposes, some gravel. There's another part of the Tinker's Construct thing that I don't think everybody has quite found out about yet. If you put a crafting table in here and you turn it into a crafting station, it will now hold anything you put in here. So, see? It doesn't jump out on the ground. Now, in Magic Farm, this pattern, 4 gravel in a square makes gravel bricks. 4 gravel in any other pattern, anything other than square, will give you flint. Flint is important. Flint is what you can make your first tools out of. So, we'll get ourselves a flint shovel. And a pickaxe head. And an axe head. This axe is really going to be your first basic weapon. We're going to make our tool binding for the pickaxe out of wood, because that's what we've got. You can make a dagger with a knife blade, and you can make a knife blade out of flint. So we can go in here. We'll need a crossbar pattern. And a knife blade pattern. Just toss these in here. And what can we make crossbars out of? It looks like we can make it out of wood. That's a good thing. We can give ourselves a wooden crossbar. And we can make ourselves a knife blade out of flint. Just put that to the side. That's just a little piece of extra flint. Useful for if we need to repair something. And we have tool rods, so we can go over here and we can make ourselves a very basic knife. This can be used as a melee weapon, or you can throw it. It doesn't have a lot of damage, but it is better than just your fist. We take our axe and we'll make that. Oh, and it looks like we're going to need another tool rod real quick. And so we'll put our pickaxe together. And we're going to make it daylight because I'm not in the mood for playing with night while doing this tutorial thing. So now we have a flint pickaxe. It says mining level copper. That means it can mine up to copper ore. It can't mine tin. It can't mine iron. So how do you go about boosting that? Because eventually, you're going to want to, go ahead and maybe mine something other than just copper and cobblestone. While we're at it, notice our shovel here is getting a little bit damaged. That's not necessarily ideal. So we'll fix that. We'll get ourselves some wood. And for whatever reason, this seems to only work with regular wood. I don't know why. But there we go. Now that's healed. However, let's say I don't want to have a wooden shovel. Maybe I want to have a flint shovel. XP transfers when you swap the tool part. Very useful. Because that XP is how you level your tools. Oh, and of course, here's gravel. Always gravel when we don't necessarily need it. And of course, as always, whatever's to the right of your Tinker's Construct tool, you can right-click with that tool to place down. So, in this case, torches. This takes a while to level. As you can see, we're only at 10% leveling. This tool can get you coal. It can get you stone. It can get you copper. Copper will be the next thing you'll need. You can no longer make metal tool parts inside a tool station. You will need a smeltery to do that. You're going to have to cast it. Stone tool parts can only be used for making aluminum casts in the smelter. So you take a stone tool part, you place it in the casting table, you pour aluminum brass or gold over it, and it makes the cast that you need to make the further metal tools. Think of this more like an RPG type style. You can also grab salt with this. Salt can be combined with most meats to make a better version of the meat. Notice I'm getting peckish. That's the first warning sign up there in the upper right hand corner that you are going to starve to death. Not quite yet, but you will. But that's okay, because we now have salt. And we have a little bit of meat. Now the meat by itself is useless, or not that good for hunger, but if we add a piece of salt to it, suddenly we have beef jerky, which is a nourishing light meal. I don't think I can actually do that with mutton, though. Find out. Nope, you can't. But that will give you 1.5, almost 2 hunger bars back. Just for the price of a little bit of salt added to your meat. So salt is very useful. Those recipes can use agriculture salt, which usually spawns in like oceans and river biomes, or it can use the salt from Harvest Craft, which we just used. My tool's getting a little damaged. I'm going to go ahead and repair that. Back to normal. We're about 50% of the way through leveling this up. Notice it says stone monster eggs. Wayla unfortunately lets you know when there's going to be silverfish. I have it on peaceful right now because I'm not really playing. So apparently that whole area is monster fish, which is kind of useless. Don't worry, Wayla's being fixed. Pretty soon it will no longer let you know when you're about to hit a monster egg. Why? Because, well, that's not fair. You shouldn't get to know. Obviously, I'm not really actually looking for any specific ores. I'm just sitting here and mining for the purpose of leveling this. Of course, in a normal playthrough, I'd probably be trying to find myself some copper, some coal, and of course, you know, cobble is not a bad thing to have. There are different tool levels, and the tool level does determine what you can harvest. And apparently I moved my torches, so let's fix that. If you go to the Magic Farm thread, which will be linked below this video, there's a link to the various guides, including several spreadsheets on which tool parts can be made into what, and which tool parts can harvest what. Your best tools in this game when it comes to getting max level are going to be the Thermal Expansion Redstone Arsenal add-on tools, because those require enough that they are pretty much the equivalent of nether material picks and axes, etc. Because it just wouldn't make sense otherwise. But it's going to take quite a bit of infrastructure to get there, so don't think you're going to be getting on and making one of those day one. A large portion of Magic Farm is... Ah, there we go. See, it says we have... We've got improvement. This is our first level. It's still at copper. To get past the copper level with the flint tool, you have to level it twice. Now see though, we have gotten a modifier slot, which means we could go to a table and we could put auto repair on it if we wanted. And we have Fortune 1. So let's go back up to the table. I could continue mining until I've leveled it enough to get to the next tool level, which is one way of doing it. Let's say I wanted to add a modifier now, though, because now I have a modifier unlocked. With Magic Farm, you don't get to automatically add modifiers. You have to earn your modifiers through leveling. So see, I've decided I want auto repair. Now I have luck and auto repair. Now let's say I had gone ahead and I had made a smeltery, or in a Tinker's Construct house, I had found a copper pickaxe head. Well, let's say I wanted to put that on there. It keeps all its modifiers. Now, I could go level this tool to get it to 10 level and be able to mine 10. Or, alternatively, what I can do, I can't remember if it's, I'm pretty sure it's the skeleton skull. A skeleton skull will boost it up to iron mining level. Now, if I were to upgrade this and put an iron pickaxe head on this, it will not keep the skull. The skulls don't transfer between tool upgrades. But now, with this, I can actually mine anything that iron can mine. I'd still need to level it up again to be able to mine some things like Certus quartz. But I can now mine iron and gold and all of that other useful stuff. So, chances are, if you are attempting to mine something in Magic Farm with a tool, and you can't do it, you either need the next tier the next metal tier, or you need to upgrade your pick by leveling it. Once you have a smeltery going, you then unlock all of the metal tools, swords, etc. One of the things that's going to be a bit difficult for many people is until you have a smeltery and casts up and running, you cannot make a mattock and you cannot make a hoe. Now, if you find some iron ingots in a chest, you can make a hoe. But stone and wood hoes are turned off, and you cannot make one with these patterns. You need an actual cast pattern to make it, which is in the smeltery. Now, the other part is, since you're not going to have iron until after you've gotten past the metal tier, people often wonder, well, what do I do about moving lava to the smeltery? Smelteries need lava, and I don't have buckets because I don't have iron. Calm down. We've got you covered on that one. And we'll just look up bucket for ease, because apparently that's just going to be too narrow. Clay bucket is your answer. 3 clay, like this, makes an unfired clay bucket. Cook it, and you get a regular clay bucket. This can be reused as often as you want, as long as you're using it on water. On lava, it is one use only. Upon placing lava out of a clay bucket, the clay bucket is broken and disappears. So make sure you know where you want to place it if you happen to be running low on clay. So basically, disposable buckets. What's not to like? Now that's for farming. Make sure you look at all of the food in your general vicinity. If you see a plant, check it out. Obviously, I'm using a texture pack here, so your plants may look completely different. Gravel ores follow the same pattern of leveling. You're going to need the correct level of tool to dig an ore that's made out of gravel. You know, nice try. People have tried to do this trick wherein, see if we, well, I'll show you the trick. It was very cute. I laughed quite a bit after seeing it the first time. So if we put a torch here, and we do that. Hey, where'd my ore go? Yeah. I laughed the first time I saw that. Then I talked to the mod creator, and yeah, that doesn't happen anymore. Nice try. There'll be none of that. Natura berry bushes can be very useful for you. If you are lucky enough to find an area with lots of them, settle down there, because they take a while to grow once you've picked them up and replanted them. This is not the best place for finding food. Your really full areas with food are plains, etc. But we've got a bunch of Natura berry bushes up here, so we can get a bit more food. Nicely pop into our inventory, and we can eat the blackberries. There are also some unusual food options in here should you happen to be starving. Let's say you are. Let's see, I need to add mariculture. I need the sifter thingy. What's it called? Oh, sifter. Well, that was easy. So your recipe for this: a fishing net, some sticks and planks. Fishing net is some string and sticks, so it's not too expensive to get off the bat. You can get yourself one of these. You're wondering, well, gee, I wonder what that might do. Well, this allows for a couple of things. For one, it gets you the bait needed for making, for fishing in mariculture. But, see how you throw the dirt at it, or gravel, or leaves. Various things thrown at this will get you various types of bait. In this case, ants. Ants will not fill your hunger bar. They will, however, fill your saturation bar. Same with all the other bait types. So if you happen to need a little bit more saturation and all you've got is some bread, stuff that just does not keep you full for long, go grab some bugs. Ew, but still edible. Maybe not tasty, but edible. Of course, there's mushrooms. These trees, Wayla shows them, interestingly, because of localization issues, which someone who's a bit smarter than me can tell you what that means. If you bone meal these, any tree, you'll get your fruit off that. You can combine these fruits with the correct sapling to make your own saplings of them. In this case, jungle saplings. They can be used for various things. You can eat them. See, now we're full. That's good. So, pretty much every food item added by Vanilla or Harvest Craft, if you put it into a crafting grid, you can get seeds out by doing that. Not so much with the barley because it's added by Natura. It's different. It's got to be different. Meh. The main thing about Magic Farm is to work your way up to making meals. The more ingredients you have in a meal, the more it fills you. Like baked ham requires either raw pork chop or tofu, sugar, apple, and bakeware. Bakeware is either glass or some bricks, either or. And then you've got yourself some tasty baked ham. But let's say we wanted to make something even more filling. Well, let's take a look at a feast. The feasts are the top level items in the game. So the hearty breakfast. This is going to require fried egg, potato cakes, toast, some cooked meat or tofu, and some form of juice or milk. That's a lot of different things you have to combine together, but it will fill you up really full. You'll have plenty. You have your pizza options. You have basically your McDonald's Happy Meal, a drink, some cheeseburger and fries. Anything above the level of a meal will provide you with a lot longer lasting hunger and will give you a well-fed burst. So let's get ourselves, I always like to go with the hamburgers because I like the double bacon burger. We got our bacon mushroom burger. Love those. So we can throw our knife, pick it back up. So we need to get hungry again, apparently. So let's do some wandering around. So we can do this. There, we're hungry. All right. We eat our bacon mushroom burger. Now this will fill 4 or 5 hunger bars. It will also give you a well-fed bonus. Well-fed bonus means your hunger doesn't go down as long as you have that bonus. Now, see, we can sit here and we can kill cows with our little flint knife, or we can throw it at them. Just doesn't work nearly as well as just using it to hit them. So that's the main changes that get people a bit tripped up in Magic Farm. Is 1, your tool system has changed. You need to level your tools to be able to mine more difficult stuff. 2, food. Food is very important. It takes quite a while to be able to get to the point where you can make meals that last you for a while. You do not want to leave your house without some form of food. That's a bad plan. There is all sorts of food in the environment. Half the plants you're looking at are probably edible in some way. There are also some trollish plants. Mushrooms from biomes aplenty, not useful. Those bamboo shoot things down here. Very tasty. There's also wild carrots, asparagus, rutabaga, rhubarb. Right there, we have some rhubarb. There's onions, there's tea leaves, there's spice leaves, there's trees of every kind of fruit imaginable. And if you get yourself an apple and you craft it with an oak tree, you can get an apple tree that will continue to give you more apples all day long. Here we have some more fruit. I don't know what type this is because, well, yeah. What is that one? It's lime. You can make juice. You can make smoothies. Food is everywhere. Tons of food. You just have to find it and eventually farm it. There are other differences in this pack, but once you get past those main ones, figuring out tools and figuring out where to get your food from, you'll be good with the rest. Just remember, try not to starve.